Time by Carrie Chris is 6 p.m. Time for CBX Business News. The business news headlines is brought to you by CBX Wealth Management, making more possible.
Artificial intelligence takes center stage in Jamaica's labor market strategy, but leaders warn of widening skills gaps. On the regional front, Suriname charts a $10 billion energy future while pushing for climate justice at the United Nations. And over on the global stage, U.S. mortgage rates fall to a one-year low, fueling a wave of refinancing. Stay tuned as we unpack these stories and more right after the break.
Wealth is not simply counted in dollars or cents, but in the time we spend with love, in love, giving love. Wealth is not simply a means to an end. It is the means to live out loud. Wealth is more than money. It's about family, the memories you create, the legacy you leave behind, and your ability to enjoy life in the moment. It's also about seeing the CBX possibilities and seizing investment opportunities to achieve the future you want and deserve. Which is why CBX Wealth will focus on your investments so you can experience more. Because true wealth is truly more. To start investing today, call 876-926-7767.
Let's all get fit. This summer set drip. Hip dips and split. Power in the mind, let's get healthy with it. Sometimes your body's so hard, but your body wants it. And then your head is so home, and it's so like this. So we gotta go 1, 2, 3. One more now. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. One more now. 1, 2, 3. One more now. 1, 2, 3, go.
The local news is brought to you by Darriman Trading, better from the start. Development Bank of Jamaica, facilitating economic growth and development. Caribbean flavors and fragrances, tease the senses, and Pulse Investments.
Welcome back to CBX Business News. We begin with a warning and an opportunity for Jamaica's labor market. Artificial intelligence, AI, is being placed at the center of Jamaica's labor market strategy, with policymakers urging businesses and workers to prepare for sweeping changes in jobs, skills, and competitiveness. In a Jamaica First, today's Labor Market Forum at the AC Hotel in Kingston was co-moderated by an artificial intelligence system, Naomi, underscoring the very transformation that leaders say the country must get ready for. Making his remarks at the forum, Planning Institute of Jamaica PIOJ Director General Dr. Wayne Henry told delegates that AI has shifted from a futuristic concept to present-day reality, already transforming industries worldwide.
Artificial intelligence is already transforming significant aspects of our society. AI has proven and continues to be a remarkable technological tool that is both fascinating and transformative in its far-reaching influence and impact on the labor market. AI presents immense opportunities for social improvements, economic growth, and advancements in finding solutions to the myriad of problems that we once believed were beyond our comprehension.
That was Director General of the Planning Institute of Jamaica, Dr. Wayne Henry. Meanwhile, Vice President of the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, JMEA, Mark Frankson, says while AI is set to reshape Jamaica's labor market, it also threatens to widen existing skills gaps if the country fails to act.
Global trends are emerging around the world. We see that artificial intelligence is already reshaping jobs. The World Economic Forum projects that by 2027, 25% of the roles we have now will be disrupted, and millions of other jobs will be created and displaced. This represents both a disruption and an opportunity, but only if we prepare. Without deliberate action, the existing gap between high and low skilled workers will widen. And this is why investment in our people is going to be essential.
That was Vice President of the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, JMEA, Mark Frankson. Jamaica's trade performance weakened in the first 5 months of 2025, with higher import spending outpacing a fall in export earnings. Fresh data from the Statistical Institute of Jamaica Statin on Tuesday show imports climbed 3.6% to US $3.16 billion, led by higher purchases of raw materials, consumer goods, and fuels. At the same time, exports fell 6.9% to US $773 million, weighed down by a 26.8% slump in mineral fuel shipments, one of the country's main foreign exchange earners. The United States, China, Brazil, Nigeria, and Japan remained Jamaica's top import partners, accounting for nearly US $2 billion in trade. On the export side, revenues from the United States, Russia, Iceland, Canada, and the Netherlands slipped slightly to US $558.5 million. The company's Office of Jamaica COJ is accelerating its digital transformation with new services designed to speed up business registration. At a ministerial press conference on Tuesday, Minister of Investment, Industry and Commerce, Senator Aubin Hill, outlined how the agency is rolling out instant approvals for core business services, with more upgrades to come later this year.
Phase 2, first rollout October 25, as again. Annual return status quo, auto approval, instant approval, oh boy, that sounds good. Change of company secretary, auto approval, when you change your company secretary. Online change of registered office, auto approval, second rollout November 2025. Annual returns forms done. May I give you all these in so you can check. Change documents, change of directors, allotment of new shares, she said by November 2025. E-certificates, QR code certificates for companies will be launched in October, November 2025.
Senator Hill also revealed plans for the launch of a COJ mobile app in 2026.
COJ mobile app, that is designing an app for the easy registration that should be launched in early sometime 2026. These technological improvements will reduce in-branch crowding, shorten turnaround times, and make it easier for businesses to come.
That was Minister of Investment, Industry and Commerce, Senator Aubin Hill. In other news, Jamaica has cemented its place as the Caribbean's most connected destination, achieving record global air and cruise linkages that are said to be fueling both visitor arrivals and wider economic growth. By year-end, arrivals are projected at 4.5 million, including 3.1 million stopover visitors and 1.4 million cruise passengers. The island now has direct links to more than 55 international gateways. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett, speaking at the Jamaica Product Exchange on Tuesday, says the surge in airlift is more than a tourism milestone. It's a driver of national transformation. He pointed to major upgrades like the US $274 million Montego Bay Perimeter Road and the expansion of the North Coast Highway as projects that will unlock commerce and strengthen community ties. Bartlett also highlighted worker training, a growing pension scheme, and new quality standards as proof that growth is being shared across the workforce. We go now to updates from the Bank of Jamaica on how the currency markets traded today. In Wednesday's trading session, the US dollar is selling for $161.05, the Canadian for $115.52, the pound sterling for $216.12, while $189.71 is the going rate for the euro. We move to the latest updates from the JSE equities markets. In Wednesday's trading session, the JSE market activity resulted in the trading of 109 stocks, of which 41 advanced, 43 declined, and 25 traded firm. Leading the winners are MFS Capital Partners, VM Investments, Paramount Trading Jamaica, and Sterling Investments. While leading the losers are General Accident Insurance Company JA, First Rock Real Estate Investments USD, ISP Finance Services, and G West Corporation ordinary shares. The main index declined by 683.01 points or 0.21% to close at 318,054.75 points. The junior market index, however, advanced by 1.01 points or 0.03% to close at 3,377.40 points.
And it's time for Market Education Feature, brought to you by CARICRIS, Regional Ratings, Global Standard.
In today's Market Education Feature, we're defining the term remuneration. Remuneration refers to the total compensation an employee earns. This includes base salary, bonuses, commissions, overtime pay, and other financial benefits. While perks such as vacation time or use of a gym aren't counted as remuneration, benefits with a monetary value, like a company car, may be included and even taxed. Tips are also considered part of remuneration, even though they are paid directly by customers rather than the employer.
The Market Education Feature was brought to you by CARICRIS, Regional Ratings, Global Standards.
And that's it for the local news segment. Please stay with us. The regional news is up next.
The local news is brought to you by Diamond Trading, better from the start. Development Bank of Jamaica, facilitating economic growth and development. Caribbean flavors and fragrances, tease the senses, and Pulse Investments.
Welcome back. And now for the regional business news. Suriname is positioning itself for a new phase of economic growth, with President Jennifer Simmons announcing that more than $10 billion is being invested in the country's offshore oil and gas sector. Addressing the 80th anniversary session of the United Nations General Assembly on Tuesday, the Surinamese president says the development represents a new beginning that will significantly boost national revenues and resilience.
My government views energy security as a strategic priority for national development, regional stability, and economic resilience. With an investment of more than $10 billion for the development of our offshore oil and gas, the country is getting a new beginning, a new start that will contribute significantly to our economic growth.
At the same time, Simmons stressed that fossil fuel income will not be the sole foundation of Suriname's economy.
However, we know oil and gas revenues should not be the sole fundament of our economic development. Hence, we need investments in relevant sectors in our country. We are steadily advancing our energy transition. While we already source about 50% of our energy needs through hydropower, we are moving toward natural gas and other forms of renewable energy as part of our long-term vision, because we know climate change is a fact.
That was President of Suriname, Jennifer Simmons. St. Lucia is moving on two fronts that strike at credit and jobs, converting long-term Crown land occupation into ownership and investing $750,000 to certify its first pool of cybersecurity analysts. Speaking at a pre-cabinet press briefing on Tuesday, Minister of Equity Joachim Henry says the government is granting free titles to long-time residents and offering low-cost purchase terms to others.
The Prime Minister has kept his promise. And if today someone can purchase a parcel of land at $14,000, $8,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 to own a parcel of land, you do not need to come up with $75,000. And guess what? The cabinet approved that with a 10% deposit, they can now have 5 years to pay for the property.
That was St. Lucia's Minister of Equity, Joachim Henry. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre announced that Cabinet has approved a $750,000 training program for 100 learners in cybersecurity.
Development of a pool of certified cybersecurity analysts for St. Lucia, enhance employability of St. Lucia's professionals in a highly demand global industry, and support for government's digital transformation initiatives such as DigiGov, Customs and Immigration, Internal Revenue Department, and Healthcare.
That was Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Philip J. Pierre. Dominica is putting fresh investment behind the blue economy with the commissioning of 2 upgraded fisheries facilities in Dobla and Bioche. The projects, financed under a World Bank-backed resilience program launched after Hurricane Maria, add a new ice capacity, cold storage, gear lockers, and office space for fisher groups. Officials say the upgrades directly tackle the sector's biggest vulnerabilities: spoilage, weak record keeping, and limited bargaining power. Speaking at the commissioning ceremony on Monday, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt underscored the national stakes, framing the investment as central to Dominica's food security.
This government continues to prioritize food security, ensuring that we pay attention and invest significantly in agriculture and also fisheries. We've provided several outboard motors to fishermen, not only under this project, even before that. Obviously, a lot of these things got washed away during Maria, and also the construction of boats, and not only in this project, but even before that. So this project is really an advancement of the government's commitment to the fisher folk in Dominica.
That was Prime Minister of Dominica, Roosevelt Skerritt. And there was no trading on the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange today. The market closed in observance of Republic Day, a national holiday in TNT. Regular trading is scheduled to resume at the next business day. We're up on a break, but please do stay with us. The international news segment is up next.
Hey, I just sent the money. I'll WhatsApp you the tracking number.
Thanks, Daddy. I can't wait to buy that PS5.
Listen to me. Your birthday money is not just for spending. Remember what I told your mom? Remember to open the bank account immediately after collecting the money. Your mom has her ID, TRN, proof of address, proof of income, and your school ID.
I'm not an adult yet, so Mommy will have to open the account with me.
Yes. Anyways, I'm headed back to work, so call me later. I love you guys.
This financial literacy tip is brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, promoting financial inclusion. For more information, visit our BOJ Real Talk playlist on our YouTube channel.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. In the international news today, WTI crude futures climbed above $64 per barrel on Wednesday, building on a 1.8% gain from the previous session as signs of tightening supply supported prices. An industry report from the American Petroleum Institute, API, showed that U.S. crude inventories fell by 3.8 million barrels last week, the largest draw in 7 weeks, raising concerns about supply constraints. The market also reacted to stalled negotiations over restarting of oil exports from Iraq's Kurdistan region. Two major producers are demanding a debt repayment guarantees, which has kept pipeline shipments to Turkey suspended since March 2023. Meanwhile, geopolitical tensions continued to underpin oil prices. NATO pledged a robust response to recent Russian airspace incursion, while Ukrainian drone strikes targeted Russian refineries and pipelines, further elevating risks in the region. In Venezuela, Chevron plans to export only about half of the 240,000 barrels per day it produces in partnership with local firms. A new U.S. authorization granted in July allows continued operation in the sanctioned country, but restricts the volume of heavy crude shipments to the U.S. Mortgage rates in the U.S. fell for a fourth straight week, reaching their lowest level since September 2024, as the average contract rate for 30-year fixed-rate mortgages with conforming loan balances $806,500 or less declined to 6.34% in the week ending September 19, down from 6.39% the previous week, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association, MBA. The drop followed the Federal Reserve's 25 basis points rate cut and guidance for an additional 50 basis points of easing later this year, which pushed Treasury yields lower. Although rates edged slightly higher after last week's FOMC meeting, they remain low enough to support increased refinancing activity. Total mortgage applications rose 0.6% on the week, maintaining the momentum from a nearly 30% surge the week before, the second highest weekly level since interest rates plunged in March 2020. Refinance applications climbed another 1%, following a 60% jump in the prior week and now account for more than 60% of all mortgage applications, according to MBA SVP and Chief Economist Mike Frantantoni. Meanwhile, purchase applications were flat as affordability and inventory challenges continue to weigh on home buying despite lower rates. Analysts note that declining yields, fueled by soft labor market data, could keep mortgage rates under pressure in the near term, potentially extending the refinance wave. Shares of Lithium Americas Corp jumped 65% after reports that the Trump administration is seeking an equity stake in the Vancouver-based miner. The focus is on Thacker Pass, the company's flagship project in northern Nevada, which is expected to become one of the largest lithium sources in North America. The move signals a strategic effort by the U.S. to secure domestic supplies of a critical mineral essential for electric vehicles and energy storage. A government investment would mark a rare direct stake in a mining company and could fast-track development of the project, which is seen as vital to reducing reliance on foreign lithium, particularly from China. Morgan Stanley is preparing to roll out crypto trading for retail customers through its e-trade platform, marking a major move by one of Wall Street's biggest firms into digital assets. The service is expected to launch in the coming months, according to a memo obtained by CNBC. The bank is partnering with crypto infrastructure startup Zero Hash to handle liquidity, custody, and settlement, ensuring secure and compliant trading for E-Trade's millions of users. Morgan Stanley described the initiative as the tip of the iceberg, signaling its belief that cryptocurrency is set to play a central role in the future of wealth management and retail investing. The firm was one of the first major banks to offer Bitcoin fund access to wealthier clients, and this move would mark its most direct engagement with everyday retail investors. The development comes as traditional financial institutions increasingly embrace crypto amid growing investor demand and clearer regulatory frameworks. If launched successfully, E-Trade would become one of the first mainstream brokerages to offer direct crypto trading, competing with platforms like Robinhood and Coinbase. And those were your international business stories. After the break, do rejoin us.
Let's all get fit. This summer set drip. Hip dips and split. Power in the mind, let's get healthy with it. Sometimes your body's so hard, but your body wants it. And then your head is so home, and it's so like this. So we gotta go 1, 2, 3. One more now. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. One more now. 1, 2, 3. One more now. 1, 2, 3, go.
On behalf of the Trans-Tobago Stock Exchange and the Trans-Tobago Central Depository, I'd like to wish CBX a happy anniversary. 3 years already. Thank you for what you're doing for us as a region. Thank you for keeping us connected. Here's wishing you many more years of success. Happy anniversary, CBX.
In the local news, AI positioned at the center of Jamaica's labor market strategy. Leaders warn of widening skills gaps. Regionally, Suriname charts $10 billion energy future, pushes climate justice at United Nations. And internationally, U.S. mortgage rates hit one-year low, fueling refinance boom. Those were the stories making today's CBX Evening News. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Rochelle Moncrief. Thanks for watching CBX, your region, your business, your source.
Hello there, my name is Lisbeth Elhalde. I am a film producer, TV producer, and you are watching CBX, Caribbean Business Exchange.